for you forever and ever. Yes, my heart beats for you. For as a gift, that's what I sow. My soul longs for you forever and ever. Yes, my heart beats for you. Something more than gold. I've got something more than gold. Something more than gold. I've got something more than gold. If all I've got is Jesus, I've got something more than gold. I'll tell it to the world. Jesus is more than gold. More than gold, more than gold. I've got something more than gold. I'll tell it to the world. Jesus is more than gold. More than gold, more than gold. I've got something more than gold. I'll tell it to the world. Jesus is more than gold. It's such an honor that you call me your own. Your love is unchangeable, keeps coming after me. Shepherd of my heart, I love how you love me. Hey, treasure of my soul, I stand in awe of you. As the deepest for our soul, my soul longs for you forever and ever. Yes, my heart beats for you. As the deepest for our soul, my soul longs for you, Jesus, forever and ever. Yes, my heart beats for you. Something more than gold. I've got something more than silver. Something more than life. I've got something more than riches. If all I've got is Jesus, I've got something more than gold. I'll tell it to the world. Jesus is more than gold. More than gold, more than gold. I've got something more than gold. More than gold, more than gold. Jesus is more than gold. Something more than gold. Something more than silver. The Spirit of the Lord within me is something more than gold. Something more than gold. Something more than silver. The Spirit of the Lord within me is something more than gold. More than gold, more than gold. I've got something more than gold. Tell it to the world.
Good evening, everyone. Easy Baba, good evening. I can see you online. Good evening, Instagram. Good evening, Facebook.
My brother, my sister.
It's 9 o'clock already. I'm live. I'm live. Tell everyone that you know Lawyer Precious is online. I'm live. It's 9 o'clock on the dot. It's 9 on the dot.
Play by TF card.
Tell me how you let me go.
Who is online? Who is online? Who is online? I'm live. Please tell everyone that I'm online. I'm live. The conversation will soon be starting. Who is joining me? Instagram, where are you guys? Facebook, where are you people?
Listen to the tell me, are you ready?
Instagram. Titi Lola Alpha. Hello Instagram, hello Facebook. It's live chat with Lawyer Precious again. Okay? Let's just group with this song. After this one, we start officially. Hey! Hey!
Tell me, are you ready? Are you ready? Listen to the tell me, are you ready?
Don't mind me, my dad is only on the chair. You tell me to stand up now and dance is wahala. Okay, good evening everyone, good evening Facebook, good evening Instagram. Happy weekend to each and every one of us. What is happening, especially my Instagram people? Where are you guys? I don't want people to start coming when I'm almost done because I will not do a recap. Okay, good evening once again. My name is Precious Toju. I am a Lagos-based Nigerian lawyer. And tonight, I have a very interesting topic I want to discuss, or I want us to discuss about. Is actually, I've been having a mediation series. I think last 2 Saturdays I talked about the place of mediation. No, last week I talked about the place of mediation in business disputes. And I also did a video over the week, just this week that we're just concluding, on the essence of having a mediation clause in your business agreement. The essence of having a mediation clause in your business agreement. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the role of a mediation advocate in business disputes. And I think I should summarize all of the mediation talk this week, because from next week I'll be having special guests on the program to come talk to us about one aspect of law or the other. So once again, good evening. I'm Precious Toju. I am a business lawyer, real estate consultant, and of course a mediation advocate on my way to becoming a mediation judge or a chartered mediator. Okay, so I have a very important announcement for us this evening before we start. This evening, night, before we kick start. Very, very important. There is an Instagram handle that we just created, and we're going to link it to Facebook, and we're going to also do it on LinkedIn and Twitter. I hope nobody heard that. And it's called Dispute Mediation Center. Dispute Mediation Center. We're going to be taking on that group, we're going to be taking disputes. We're going to be taking a lot of disputes, whether it's landlord and tenancy, what it's about, whether it's disputes concerning business, concerning debt recovery. In fact, this week alone, I've had like 3 people approach me that they invested some amount of money in millions into agri-tech, this agriculture business, farm business. You know the way they go about this farm business. Some are agro, some are agri farm, some are something. I don't want to mention the name of the company, but it just generally involves this agriculture kind of business. And we know that all over the place where people, they will tell you to come invest, you will gain like 25% of your capital. Some it's about 50%. There's even one that I loved, and it's not this particular one. I think the last the person told me it was going to be 100%, and I'm like, oh my gosh, even Dangote even promised 100%. You get, so a lot of people just, you know, throwing their money to a lot of things without even getting a lawyer to do due diligence for them. But this dispute mediation center is basically for civil disputes. We're not handling criminal dispute for now, but it's simply business disputes. You can just follow us on Instagram, is dispute mediator, at disputes mediator. Follow us on Instagram. There's a free consultation. The consultation section is free. If you have a mediation issue, you just there's a link there. There's a link there. I think it's a WhatsApp link that is there. Very soon we'll change it to the web link. So there's a link there. You get to file your complaints, and then we have a free section with you to tell you, okay, what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to go about it, your chances. And then if you want us to, you know, go ahead to, you know, mediate between you and your party, the other party that you're having an issue with, and then we go ahead to do that. But that aspect of the mediation is not free, but the consultation is actually free. So follow us, follow Disputes Mediator on Instagram. Follow Disputes Mediator on Instagram. We'll soon open, this week we're going to be opening, we're going to link out the page to our Facebook group, and our Facebook, and then we're going to also link it to LinkedIn and Twitter. Okay, so tonight I'll be discussing about the role of a mediation advocate in business disputes. The role of a mediation advocate in business disputes. I don't know what happened to my system. The place of a mediation advocate in business disputes. Okay, so if you've been following my series, like I said earlier on, you would have understood the meaning of mediation, the essence of mediation in business disputes, the essence of having a mediation clause in your business agreement. I also said during the live section of last week that very well-informed lawyers, well-informed, inclined lawyers when it comes to business transaction and drafting of business agreements that are good in, you know, drafts and all of that. They now know, people now know, lawyers now know that you will have to include a mediation clause even before you include an arbitration clause. That is the in thing now, and that was what I was actually discussing. I talked about in my video. Please, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, just, if you're on Facebook, I'm live on my Facebook group, which is Business and Legal Structure. There's a link there that takes you straight to my YouTube channel. So just click, if you're on Facebook in that group, just click, and then you'll be able to join me. Be able to, you know, see my WhatsApp, my YouTube channel, and then you click and you subscribe. Just click the subscribe already. You don't need to have anything special to be able to subscribe. And then if you're on Instagram, because I'm currently on Instagram and Facebook, this live section is Instagram and Facebook, Instagram, you will just click the link in my bio, and then you will see watch my videos. You just click on it and you'll be able to see subscribe to my YouTube channel. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have wonderful, very insightful videos there. So you would have understood how I got to explain how mediation clause is really important in having it in your business agreement. You must even have a mediation clause before you even think of going for arbitration clause. Yes, it depends on the nature of the business, or it depends on the nature of the transaction. It is not in all transactions that you may include mediation clause, but it's actually almost compulsory now that you should include mediation clause in your business agreement even before arbitration, and I did explain why all of that is now. And so if you have not watched it, you can view it on my YouTube channel or on my IG television, and then you can get to watch it. So I also did talk about what else did I say last week? Okay, I also talked about why mediation is far better, cost effective, and all of that. I also did talk about in Lagos State especially. I'm not going to talk for other states because I am not fully abreast of how they do one or two things in other states. But here in Lagos State, especially for civil matter, you cannot institute an action legitimately or by following the protocol without you going for mediation. You must put, there's a pre-action notice certificate that you have to produce that you actually try to mediate, or you try to use the mediation route, and just that parties could not get to agree, parties could not get to compromise. So that is why you're actually going for the litigation or the lawsuit straight forward. So in other words, it's actually compulsory. It's actually compulsory that you try mediation first before you go to lawsuit. That is why I keep saying that the place of mediation cannot be overemphasized. 1 minute, please. Okay, so tonight I'm going to be talking about the role of a mediator. The role of a mediator in business disputes. The role of a mediator in business dispute. Now, a mediation advocate. The role of a mediation advocate in business disputes. Now, I need us to be clear that a mediator is different from a mediation advocate. So let me just take out a little bit of my time to explain that. Now, a person can actually be a mediation advocate and a mediator. Okay, so let me use myself for example. I am now an accredited mediation advocate, and I'm just waiting for our official induction coming up soon, but the training has been done. And like I said earlier on, I've had the exposure in mediation. Even before I went for training, I've always had, I may not have been the one to mediate, but I've always had mediation. I've always gone for mediation. I've always represented clients in mediation sections. So I have an ample of experience in mediation. And like I said last week in the live session, that I recommend mediation even before litigation. And even if, and I'm also talking as an advocate, I've always been in practice from the day go. I've always been a court lawyer from the day go. So I understand when I'm saying it's, you go for mediation first before you even think of litigation. I am talking from an experience over the years, and I'm talking from an informed point of view. So I am a mediation advocate, and basically as a mediation advocate, what I am expected to do is to guide my clients, is to guide the person that has disputes through the mediation section. Even before the mediation section, I am supposed to enlighten my client why he should opt for the mediation instead of just going straight to the lawsuit. But I'm still going to break that down to us tonight. So I was saying that a person can be a mediation advocate and at the same time be a mediator, a chartered mediator or a mediation judge. Now, I am a mediation advocate, and I'm also working my way to becoming a mediator or a mediation judge. But you have to move from one stage to the other. You can't just go and be a mediation judge or a chartered mediator. It is a process. It is a lot of mediators were already mediation advocate. They are mediation advocate before they even become a mediator. So, but I can be either or both. Pardon me. I can be either or both. I can be either a mediation advocate or a mediator. I can be either or both, but I cannot be both in a particular matter. Okay, so in other words, I cannot be a mediation advocate and I at the same time be a mediator in the same matter. I must choose to either be a mediator or I choose to be a mediation advocate. Now, who is a mediation advocate? Advocate simply is somebody that that speaks for somebody, somebody that stands for somebody, somebody that defends another person, the mouthpiece of another person, the spokesman of another person. So that is why we are, as lawyers, we are, okay, a lot of people will call it barrister, but that barrister thing is will I say is archaic. So what we have now is an advocate and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. So I am an advocate and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. In other words, I speak for, I represent, I defend people in the court of law, and I am being, given that authority to do that by the Supreme Court of Nigeria. So a mediation advocate is simply somebody that projects mediation, that suggests mediation, that is a spokesman of mediation for the benefit of his or her client. So let me give you a very practical example. If I have a client that walks up to me to say he got into a business transaction with a second and third party, and he was an investor, or he is an investor in that he is an investor in that business transaction, and he invested like 50 million naira, and he was supposed to get his interest and his capital like 12 months ago, but the company have not paid him either his interest or his capital. And each time he keeps talking about it, they keep posting him, they keep telling him stories. Now, he wants to get his money back. And of course, as an average person, a layman is going to say he wants to take them to court. He wants to go to court. He wants to sue them to court. And he is not out of place to actually think that, because the court is actually the place, the only institution all over the world that has the final say in any dispute, in any offense, or in any matter, in any relationship. The court has the final say, and the court is the final say. I need you to underline that. The court has the final say concerning any dispute, any crime, any offense, any relationship, and the court is the final say. The court is also the last resort. But like I said earlier last week, during last week's section, the court is not your first place of call, but it is your last place of call. So as a mediation advocate, I am supposed to project amicable settlements to my client. The man has come with his grievances. The man has come with something that has pained him so much. The man has come with the things that he felt. He has come to tell me how he feels about the situation, and he wants me to get justice for him. The truth of the matter is, justice is not only gotten in the court of law. Justice can be gotten through other means, but it has to be endorsed by the court of law. You do not necessarily need to jump at the court as your first place of call because you have a dispute. So I as a mediation advocate, I am supposed to suggest to my client that yes, you can get your money back, you can even get your interest back, but you can do that and save time, save costs, save expenses, and you will still get the money back. Now, this is the work of a mediation advocate. Now, as I am a mediation advocate, a trained mediation advocate, I will not in any means suggest litigation or lawsuit force to my client. No matter the gravity of the breach or the offense, I am to first suggest amicable settlements. I am forced to project amicable settlements, and it's even before mediation became this prominent, gained so much ground in our today practice. In the rules of professional conduct, that is the rules that guide us as lawyers, as our professional conduct that we must, our code of conduct that we must abide with, as a lawyer while you're practicing, the day one that you become a lawyer, or that's the day one that we become a lawyer, we have our rules of professional conduct that says that when a client comes to you first that he has an issue, you are to first try to see how you can settle the matter first without going to court. Settle it amicably, and it has so many reasons, especially in our climate, especially in our jurisdiction and country Nigeria, where jurisdiction, the judiciary rather, is quite slow. Is the judicial system is quite slow. So I am supposed to, and this amicable settlement has different routes. It's not just mediation. We have conciliation. Okay, so I actually forgot to mention that. So we have, as a mediator, you're also a conciliator, because it is the same history. So once you are when somebody says a mediator is also a conciliator, he will reconcile situations. Okay, so I am to first, okay, I was saying that there are different routes of amicable settlement before you get to court. You have the negotiation, you have the conciliation, you have the mediation, and you have the arbitration. Okay, so as a mediation advocate will not think of the court first, will not think of a lawsuit first. Like I said in my earlier live section, that is because the judicial system in Nigeria is quite slow. It's quite expensive to go into a lawsuit. No matter how simple you may think the lawsuit is, no matter how you feel, it's just a simple contract. It may be a simple contract, but it may not be a simple process. Proceedings in court. I give a typical example. There was this brief that I got 2019. Some people gave somebody money to get plots of land, and the person ended up using the money, converting the money, and so I was engaged to help in recovering that money. And we instituted that action February last year. I still remember we instituted that action February last year, and as we speak, we're still in court for the matter. Now, it's a small claims matter. It's a small claims court matter, which ordinarily, by the rules of the small claims court, should not take more than 90 days. That is 3 months. Is it 3 months? Yes, it must not take more than 3 months. Now, we have been in court since last year, February. We are already in July. So we are going to 2 years now concerning that matter. Okay? And why did it linger so long? We appeared in court in February. We appeared in March. By the time we got a date to come and do trial, to go for trial, to hear the matter proper for April, we had the shutdown because of the pandemic, because of the COVID-19. And as the court was just trying to find its feet to resume work and proceedings, we had the NSAS, and then we have the burning down of the court. So it was a case of you've got to refile. And then when we did we went to the court and okay, we're giving a date, and we went through all those processes again. We had the judicial strike, the juicing strike. We had the strike for about 2 or 3 months before we just resumed. So these are the bottleneck. These are the obstacles that judicial system or the judiciary or the lawsuit itself has. These things are embedded in lawsuits itself, so you cannot actually preempt. But the beautiful thing about mediation is that all the mediation that I've had the opportunity to go through is a maximum of 3 sections, and the 3 sections we always get one week, except where the parties say, 1 week is too short, 2 weeks adjournment. So if I have a mediation section today, I am assured that by the middle of July, I'm going to have another one. By the end of July, I'm going to have another one. And by the first week in August, we are having the last one to conclude. And when we cannot conclude, we now go to court. So as a mediation advocate, one of the roles of a mediation advocate is to advertise mediation, or I don't want to use the word advertise now because of professional ethics, is to suggest, recommend, that's the word I was looking for, is to recommend mediation to his or her clients. That's one. Secondly, a mediation advocate, when it comes to business disputes, is to be more concerned about his or her clients getting that business dispute resolved within the shortest time possible, saving his or her client time, resources, and other things, and all the headache that comes with litigation. Now, don't get me wrong, am I ruling out litigation? Am I ruling out lawsuit? Not at all, because I am a lawyer. I still go to court. I go to court almost every week, so I am a court lawyer. I am a litigation person. But like I said, I will recommend mediation over and over and over again for clients. It is only when we've gone through the mediation and parties are not able to settle, we can now go to the court. Now, I need us to understand at this juncture that even when you go through the mediation process, and both parties have agreed and they've reached a conclusion that this is what they have agreed to, we will draft an agreement. An agreement is going to be, you're going to draft an agreement. Both parties are going to sign. As a mediation advocate, I'm going to sign that I am the mediator. I am the mediation advocate that presented my client. So I sign, I witness for my client. The mediator that starts, I don't want to use the word precise, because precise is used for lawsuits, that mediates between both parties, will endorse, and will also sign and stamp, and then we're still going to take it to court. After the whole thing, we're still going to take that agreement to court, and the court will endorse it as its judgment. It will be registered in the court registry that this is a judgment that has been agreed by both parties, and the court pronounces on it, endorses that it's judgment. And I said during the last section, that there is no better judgment anywhere in the world than a consent judgment. It's easy to execute and it's very difficult to appeal against. At least with my little years of practice, little in quotes, it's very difficult to appeal against a consent judgment, which is something that you have agreed. You agreed, especially when you had a mediation advocate with you. So you did not just you didn't just do it. You had a legal or a mediation advocate that represented your interest. So it would be so almost silly. Let me not just say silly, because I've had to handle a situation where a mediated agreement or a mediation agreement was actually challenged in court, and I happened to be the one that challenged it. But that was a different scenario, because when it was time for them to endorse it as a consent judgment, my client was not in court, I was not in court, and that kicks against the normal practice. Both parties are supposed to be in court and then agree, and then the judge interviews both of them and say, oh, is this your judgment, this your counsel, and both of you agree. And so that was my the basis of my challenge and all of that. But that is a very peculiar case. It's a very different case. I know lawyers can come up with a lot of defenses, try to put one technicalities or the other, but you see, consent judgment gotten from mediation or a mediation process is very easy to execute and quite difficult to appeal against, because at the end of the day, the upper court will always uphold a consent judgment, or in almost all the cases, 99.9% will uphold a consent judgment. So as a mediation advocate, I am to ensure that I recommend mediation to my clients. I am to ensure that I get my clients disputes settled without having to break his account or without having to make him go through unnecessary stress, when I can easily, to me it's a very good practice when we can actually sit in the office and mediate. That's the beauty about mediation. We can actually sit in the office and we mediate and we decide. So there's one reason why we opened the dispute mediator dispute mediation center, because it's mediation. There are certain things you need to put in place as a mediator and all of that, but you can sit in your office and mediate. You can be on Zoom and you mediate, and both parties agree. It saves you a whole, even to file cases now is a whole lot of, with this COVID-19 and all of that, is a whole lot of, I don't want to call it stress. So that is the second role of a mediation advocate. The third role of a mediation advocate in the business dispute, aside recommending mediation, aside trying to save his client time and resources, is to represent the client's interests to the fullest or maximum during the mediation process. Your client would have communicated to you as a mediation advocate. A client would have communicated to me, for example, and then I am to represent his interest. But as a mediation advocate, with the training, I understand that I must also shift ground. I must also be able to educate my client to shift ground. You can't just remain on your, this is my right, this is my right. As much as you're claiming a right, the other party will also have a right to claim. And do not forget, anything dispute, lawyers will always have defenses. No matter how ugly a case may be, no matter how bad we think a particular case is, there is no way a lawyer will not bring out a defense. So I always tell my clients, yes, you have your right, you have the right to this, but are you going to just be sitting down on your rights alone? Are you not going to also try to see the best deal that you can get? And I just believe in, working smart and not just working around the clock, and then you're standing on your rights, and then you go to court, your rights, and then 10 years to come, you're still in court. Now, if you're claiming 100 million from somebody in the year 20, let's assume you took somebody to court in 2000, in the year 2000, and you are claiming 100 million, it is that same 100 million that is going to be in your process, even in the year 2021. Even if you're going to amend, you're still going to have your process. That same money, you cannot claim more than what somebody is owing you. The only thing you can claim is probably interest, if you have the license to collect interest, or damages. General damages, yes, you could claim that. You can even decide to claim 1 billion. For Hi Canada Realtor, thank you for tuning in. So you could actually decide to claim 100 million damages, but it is not left for the court to decide whether you worth, whether that 100 million you worth it, or if the circumstances warrant you to get 100 million naira. Let me use naira now because I'm in Nigeria. Naira damages. So my point exactly is, when people try to, when I have clients that keep claiming, oh no, lawyer, I cannot agree, the person must pay me this money, I will tell you no problem. Whether as a mediation advocate I will represent you, whether as a law, whether in court I will represent you, and I will make my money either way. But I will always try to recommend what is best for you. Because if you're claiming your right, 100 million naira in 2000 does not have the same value in 2021. Not to talk of in our economy, in Nigeria, where naira depreciates by the day. Take 100,000 naira to market, and when you come back home, if you're shopping, let me just say you want to buy food stuff, 100,000 naira, you're just like, what did I buy? So the point here exactly is that, as a mediation advocate, I will let you know. Because if you do not tell people, they do not really understand. And because I am in the system, both either as a lawsuit person or as a mediation person, I understand, I've weighed my option, and I've seen what is best and what is better. So as a mediation advocate, I am to represent my client's interest and make sure that I try to plead his cause. I try to, I try to represent him well and get good deal for him. At the same time, my fourth role is to see to the success of that mediation process. Let it be that we tried all our best, we tried all that we could, but we just could not have an amicable settlement. And I must say here that mediation is not a do or die thing, or it's not that, oh, or okay, no, let me not say it's not a do or die thing. Mediation is not like, if you cannot settle doing mediation, then that is the end of the dispute. The person will have to, be at a loss. No. Mediation is, if you're not able to settle amicably doing mediation, you can as well still go to court. But as a prudent and proactive lawyer and mediation advocate, I'm going to try as much as possible to see that the mediation process works, that it succeeds. And how do I do this? I will need to educate my client what mediation is all about, why mediation is better than going to court, his chances at mediation. I will weigh also to tell him what to do and what not to do, how to speak, and to educate him on the etiquette of mediation process. Those are the ways I can I can ensure that the mediation process, the mediation section actually succeed. Now the fifth role as a mediation advocate is to weigh the strengths and the weakness or the loopholes of my client's case and try to educate him on his chances. One, so while I educate him on his chances, I try to make him shift grounds. Oh, you are claiming 100 million naira with all the interest 150. Okay, Mr. Man, Mr. Client, can we first of all see how we can get that 100 million naira, which is your capital, and then we'll begin to talk about the interest later. That is because I would have weighed and see that this man does not even have the right under the law to take interest over the money he has given out, except he puts certain structures, which is possible. The certain structures that one can put in place and you still get your money. But if these structures are not on ground, especially when people go ahead to invest, give people money, go into partnership without consulting a lawyer, I would weigh the strength and the weakness or the loophole in my client's case and try to make him to see reasons why we should use mediation and why he should shift grounds, or ground rather, why he should shift a little bit of ground and not just stick to it. And then by the time we get to the mediation section, I may not really say, oh my, I know, of course, definitely I'm not going to throw that on the table. I'm going to try to tell, get the best deal and tell the other person, oh, you have been with this man's money for like 10 years now. You know that even if he put that money, he had kept that money in the bank, he would have, gotten one or two things. Can you just see to it that you pay something, even if you do not pay the whole of the interest agreed? Don't let us say you have to pay extra 50 million naira interest. Okay, even if you cannot pay 50 million, what can you do? You need to be what can you do as a person, because this could also be you. So these are the things that a mediation advocate will do, will weigh the strengths and the weakness of his or her client's case and try as much as possible to educate his client or her client and get the best deal for his or her client. Okay, so while we're still on this, please, if you have any question whatsoever, drop the question in the comment section and I will attend to it once we are done. So over and over and over again, I will recommend mediation. Yes, there are some very commercial, very complex, so to say, very complex commercial issues that should be arbitrated, like should go into arbitration, but it's not all. And almost every business or commercial dispute can be mediated upon. You can actually mediate upon it. Okay, so in rounding up for tonight, the role of a mediation advocate in business disputes. The first role is for the mediation advocate to recommend mediation for his or her client. You need to recommend mediation for your client. It's very important. You need to educate your client on the need to go for mediation first before you venture into lawsuits. And like I keep saying that mediation, should be like, lawsuit should be like your last resort as a person. Lawsuit should be like your last resort. It should be the last thing, the last place you can go, the last place that you can actually go to because of the time. And then a mediation advocate is to represent the interest of his client and ensure that the client gets the best deal from the mediation section. A mediation advocate is also to educate his or her client. A mediation advocate is to weigh the strength and the weakness or the loophole in his or her client's case, and advise him accordingly that he shouldn't just stand on his right of, on the ground of, this is my right, I cannot go beyond this, it must be this way or never. So a mediation advocate will help you weigh your option. We tell you the strengths and the weaknesses of your case, and we tell you that when we get to the mediation section, these are what you should do, these are what you should say. A mediation advocate is to try as much as possible to promote mediation etiquette, to try to make sure that the mediation section is a success. It's very important. I also want to say here that mediation is a party-driven process. Parties are the ones that will actually decide what they really want. A mediation advocate is to guide his or her client in making that decision, to make a concrete decision, to make a valuable decision, to make a reasonable decision as well. These are the roles of a mediation advocate. A mediation advocate will also try his or her best to, go through the route of mediation, hereby saving his or her client time, resources, and all the stress, palaver in quotes, that comes with litigation, especially in Nigeria. These and many more are the duties or roles of a mediation advocate in any business disputes. And like I did mention before we started that we have a handle. We're working on the site, and hopefully the site will be ready soon, where you can actually file your complaints, whether it is landlord and tenancy, whether it's business disputes, whether it's commercial, whatever situation it is, but not a murder case anyway, not a capital offense and all of that. Whatever it is, just follow us on disputes mediator. So the consultation section is actually free. You file your complaint and you book a section with us, and we tell you the strengths and weaknesses of your case or of your complaint. And then if you want to now go ahead, we would recommend mediation. That's the essence, and to save you time, to save you resources. So let me just quickly write it here. Okay, Facebook, we're going to put it very soon. We're going to put it very soon on Facebook. We're trying to create the group, the link. We're trying to create it soon. So by next week, it should be out. So where is it again? Okay, so that's it. So check out Disputes Mediator. So I've put it on Instagram. People have put it in the comment section. You can just go check it out and see what it's all about. So these are the things that we're doing as mediation advocates to make people see that, look, you can actually settle your disputes easier, better, and faster, and it is cost effective than, you know, going to court and the thing will linger year after year. And this will also be endorsed by the courts. This will also be endorsed by the courts. Okay, beautiful. So do we have any question? If we do not have a question, do not forget to check out the page Disputes Mediator. Disputes Mediator is on Instagram. We're coming to Facebook soon. We're going to be on LinkedIn very soon, and the site will be out before the end of this year, for the end of this month, by God's grace. This year, okay, that's too far. And so you'll be able to file your. It's also going to be an online thing, so you can the mediation thing is online anywhere in the world, wherever you are in the world, doesn't matter, as long as the parties. Either of the parties in Nigeria and the transaction happened in Nigeria, or part of the transaction happened in Nigeria, then you're good to go. You're good to go. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Watch out for live section next week. I'm bringing a guest. We're having a guest to talk with us. We're going to have a guest next week. We're going to have a guest upper week to talk with us throughout this month of July. I'm going to be having guests. Let me give this announcement ahead of time. The month of August is my vacation period from the social media space. So I'm telling you guys ahead. I take 30 days off the social media space to reflect, revive, come back with better and more content. And I will resume on the 1st of September by God's grace. So you just get to ask me all the questions you can now, because after this month, next month I'll be up. Yes, I could have people managing the page, but I will not personally be on the social media space. That's that. Okay, so some group of people have been asking me, when am I relaunching my book? I need special prayers. Hey, Chris Texi, thanks for tuning in. Unfortunately, I'm almost done with the live section. You can watch the replay here on IGTV or on Facebook, Business and Legal Structure Facebook group. Or you just go to my YouTube channel, Precious Toju, subscribe and watch. Now, okay, so another important announcement is my podcast has been on hold for a while. It's not been easy, but I am relaunching my podcast, and let me put it here. Check out at Law Heard. Alright, so you guys can check that out too. So I am relaunching my podcast channel, and I tagged it Ask Lawyer Precious Radio Show. Ask Lawyer Precious Radio Show. Okay, so the podcast channel is on Anchor, and you can get to listen to me wherever you are. I was actually doing a training on podcast, so I just wanted to come out, bing at you people. So please follow my podcast channel on Instagram. Is Law Heard. It's there. I put it in the comment section. Law Heard podcast, Law Podcast. So I just did it, Law Podcast. It's supposed to be Ask Lawyer Precious Podcast, but I don't want the name to be too long so that you guys can remember. So my podcast channel is on Anchor, and I think it's also on Spotify. I can't remember. I have someone that is doing that for me. I can't remember, but I'm going to be releasing some audios very soon, and some of the audios are going to be free. Some of them are going to have a little fee attached to it, because a lot of this, some of this audio that I'm working on is more like a consultation, like things I say doing booked consultation, when I have people book for my consultation, one-on-one consultation, and these are the things I tell them, reveal to them, and depending on the nature of the case. So of course I can't put that free on my channel, but there are going to be a lot of free audio. So please just follow Lawpod to listen to my podcasts, and follow Dispute Mediator to file your dispute complaint with anybody. Consultation for mediation now, it's free for now. Of course it can't be free forever. All right guys, thank you for tuning in. See you same time next week. God bless us. Do have a wonderful week. And since nobody has a question, let me just run away and go and rest. Okay, so let me play song and
by TS card.
let us while we are leaving. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, Precious Toju, click the subscribe and notification button by your right hand side. Follow me on Instagram at Ask for Your Precious. Follow my new podcast channel, Lawpod, and follow Dispute Mediator to file your disputes, your complaint on disputes, any dispute you have. Consultation is free for now. Alright guys, good night. God bless you. You can enjoy the song at the background as you take your leave. Thank you guys. Please view the replay. If you came in late, view the replay on my IG, TV, if you're on Instagram. And if you're on Facebook, you can watch the replay on Business and Legal Structure Facebook group. If you're on Facebook and you're on Instagram, join my Facebook group, Business and Legal Structure. Or you can just relax, go watch it on my YouTube channel. Don't mind me, I don't know how to dance. I'm learning.